Welcome to How We Met. I'm Sheryl Strich, and every month we meet two couples from Laguna Woods who tell their story about how they met. First couple today are Harry Graff and Beth Siegel Graff. Beth is currently directing a Reader's Theater production of What's on TV for Theater Guild. Beth plays pickleball and mahjong, and Harry plays table tennis and pickleball. Welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. Spoiler alert, Beth and I do play mahjong together, and we were in the same show together, so there we go. I always ask 3 questions.
Okay.
First question is, where are you from?
Well, we're from New York,
Okay,
and we snowbird here in California for 5 months a year.
okay,
My family moved out here 37 years ago,
okay.
and since we're both retired, Harry had the brilliant idea, instead of saying, let's just go for a short visit, he said, who needs Florida? We have California.
That's right.
So my sister said, there's a great 55 and over community, and here we are.
How long have you been coming here?
This is our 3rd year.
Your 3rd year.
Yeah,
Wow, you
we
really
love
got
it.
integrated pretty quickly.
Yes, we did. Yes, it's easy. It's easy here.
Okay, so you just ruined my 3rd question.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. How long have you been a couple?
Wow. So we met in 1977.
Sure.
We got married in 1979. So in July, we'll be celebrating our 45th wedding anniversary.
But you won't be here to do it, so I won't be invited,
Sorry,
right? I
no.
can come to Staten Island.
Oh, great.
Okay, all right.
We have a room.
Oh, good, okay, perfect. Okay, so let's get into it. How did you meet?
Okay. So in a bar.
You met in a bar?
We met in a bar. College hangout between, it was in Brooklyn.
Excuse me, oh, what college?
So it was in between 2 colleges, and neither one of us went to either one of those colleges.
It was just a local hangout.
So it was in between Kingsborough and Brooklyn College, and everybody knew the bar as Popeyes, or then it changed name to Captain Walter's, and he was there with his friends, and I reluctantly, very reluctantly, wound up going. My friend said to me, we have to go out. And I said, okay, great, where are we going to go?
Were you a college student at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was actually attending the City University of New York at Queens College.
Okay.
And Harry was at the college.
I was working at that time,
yeah.
full time. Yes.
Ooh.
He was working and going to school.
And
Oh,
going to
someone
school
with
at night.
money.
Yeah.
I wasn't stupid. So, yeah, she really wanted, so she said, we're going to go to this bar I heard about. And I went, oh, no. No. We are not doing this. I'm tired of this. And you remember, 1970s disco revolution.
Right.
And, went to a bunch of those places. And I said,
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
This is 1979.
77.
And
Yeah.
in New York State, you could drink when you were 18.
That's correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
So I was 19.
Okay.
So I just passed the bar.
Okay.
Ha! Get it? Bar. Okay, good. So there I was, and she's fighting with me. I said, look, I don't like the meat rack thing. I really don't want to do this. I don't want to go. I hate being, the up and down. You get the up and down. Everybody's looking at you. I said, no, not for me. She said, you have to go. I said, okay, but here's the deal. I'm not doing my hair. I'm not putting on a stitch of makeup. And my sister just came back from Mexico on her honeymoon, and there were these huge Mexican sweaters where I could just hide myself all inside that sweater. So there we went to the bar.
So I think it was a Monday night, and two of my friends and I were looking for something to do. And we knew this place occasionally had live music and our age. So we went there. One of my friends recognizes her friend. He knows her friend's sister. So that was the introduction. So he walks over, we follow, and then he introduces himself to her friend. And
I wanted to die. I said, oh, God, what am I going to do now? So we all started chatting.
Mm-hmm. We started chatting, and so even though I'm from Brooklyn, I was born in Israel, and I came here when I was 7 years old. So, and at that time, I haven't seen any family, I mean, my immediate family here, but extended family. I had 9 aunts, I had 3 grandparents when I left, and many cousins. So here she was away, she went to Israel for the summer. So somewhere or another, it came up in conversation that she was in Israel in a kibbutz and doing her thing there. And then, oh, Harry was born in Israel. So the next thing you know, we started talking. So it's 5 of us, and our conversations is taking over everything else. So they shoot us away. Just, guys, you're having lots to talk about. Just go over there, go to the side and talk. So that's what we did. And 45 minutes later, we get a tap on our shoulder. And I thought 5-10 minutes passed by. Harry, we're here for like an hour already. Time to go. So,
Oh, so he said, can I have your phone number?
And you said no?
Better, better, got one better for you. So I said, absolutely, no problem. Now, this is where our stories diverge. I thought he said, well, if I don't call you, what are you going to do? I said, well, give me your phone number. And I thought, great. And he thinks...
Well, that's pretty much, it's similar. I was being a wise guy, a women's lib, that kind of stuff. Why do guys always have to make the first call?
Right.
So what if I don't call you?
Right.
She said, well, I'll call you,
Yeah.
So, and we decided that she would call me on Thursday, or the phone would be Thursday. So anyway, 2 days later, I said, no, I couldn't wait. So I called her. That's what it was. And that's how it took off.
Yeah.
It took off.
So then what was the next date?
The next day was probably Nathan's on Long
Nathan's,
Island.
yeah.
And then after
They
that,
had good pinball machines.
machines. Yeah.
So you met in 1977, you were 19.
Yeah.
And 2 years later you were married?
Yes.
Oh. Did you
Yes.
finish college?
No, I actually had a semester left because I had switched majors. And I was an English theater major.
Right.
And in my junior year, it was mentioned that they need teachers of English in New York City. So I said, okay, then I'll do a second minor in education. Yeah, so we were married, and then for the first half year that we were married, I completed my studies. I did my student teaching, and yeah.
And what about you? You were working and going to school?
Yes, I was finishing my engineering degree.
Okay.
So at night classes, which took 6 years to finish because the night classes, they don't offer things.
So were you going to school at the same time that Beth was during your...
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Even until we had our marriage and our firstborn. So when our oldest son, Jonathan, he was just turning 1. That's when I completed.
Did he come to your graduation?
Neither one of us attended our graduations.
Oh.
Yeah. It
Just we were
Didn't have-
happy.
yeah.
We were happy it's over with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So then what happened after that? So then was your mother okay with the fact that you got married so young?
Oh, my father opened the door and said, thanks. And when the car insurance lapses, you get to pay.
Yeah. And I said thank you. Yeah.
So how did you wind up in Staten Island?
My older sister, who's currently a Floridian, she and her husband moved out to Staten Island, and you could get a lot more for your money than you could in Brooklyn at the time, because we originally wanted to stay in Brooklyn. That was the happening place.
You're from Brooklyn too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we were both very reluctant to want to cross over the bridge.
Right.
And we went out there and we said, wow, that's a house.
I have to tell you something. I almost didn't exist. My father was from the Bronx, and my mother was from Brooklyn.
Okay.
Or she was living in Brooklyn. And my father, you don't date a girl from Brooklyn because it's too far away.
That's right.
Sure.
He persevered, and so here I am. But
Thank goodness.
so I understand about not wanting to move to Staten Island when you're from Brooklyn. It's tough.
Absolutely.
Actually, then it was really tough. But now there's a lot more traffic, and you have
Oh
a
my
car.
goodness,
Yeah.
it's insane. Yeah,
Right.
and it was difficult for our families also. It was as they say in colloquial English, a schlep.
Yeah.
So it was rough. And Harry's parents didn't drive, so we were always going into Brooklyn.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, so if you were going to Brooklyn to see one parent, then you
it's a long day.
you couldn't see one parent without seeing the other parent if you were
Right.
going to Brooklyn.
Right, and then in 1986, my father retired. And my mother said, "You will not get me to go down to Florida with the geriatrics." So they went to visit a friend out in San Diego, up in the hills in Rancho Bernardo. And 36 hours later, they put a binder down on a house.
Yeah.
They didn't know I was pregnant with number 3 yet. And they moved out to California. So we've really been coming out here all these years.
Are they? They're
My dad is deceased, and my mom lives right in Freedom Village on El Toro.
Oh.
So she'll be 94, God willing, the end of next month.
nice.
Yeah. And my sister is out here with her family, and she's a grandma now, so we get the pleasure of seeing all of these cute little babies too.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So when you were in Staten Island, you missed out on having parents babysit for you.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
And then Harry's parents took a hike, and they ended up going from Brooklyn all the way down to southern Jersey to Tom's River to a retirement community. So that really, so our children had 4 non-existent grandparents.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so were you working the whole time you were married?
In essence, yes. There were a few years that I took off. So I started teaching in 1980, and through 1982, had our first son, second son, and then when we had the second son, I started my own business. I became a professional clown.
A professional clown?
Yes, that is what I said.
Okay.
And I had my own business. I started out with a partner, hi Mindy, and then we ended up splitting. But for about 10 years, and it wreaked havoc on our family life because I worked on the weekends, he worked during the week, and the last couple of years, basically, I worked one day on the weekend. I had jobs during the week, restaurant work, all kinds of stuff. It was wonderful. And then I went back to teaching in 1993
Okay.
and became an administrator and retired in 2016.
And we here in Laguna Woods are very happy that you're here because you've taken on a big role in Theater Guild in terms of directing and being in shows. And,
Pleasure.
And you have a fabulous Russian accent.
Yet.
We were in the same show, and I thought she was Russian. Anyway, I just got the 2-minute warning.
Okay.
So I want to thank you guys for coming on. This has really been interesting and delightful, and
Thank you.
we come from the same place.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you.
Next up is a lovely couple who went to the rival school of my school, Syracuse, which is why I'm wearing this T-shirt. I'd like to introduce Debbie and Bert Spangenthal. Debbie is the president of Clown Alley. She's involved in slip casting, water aerobics, and mahjong. Bert is involved in art and golf, and they both play pickleball. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I'm really happy to have you. Debbie and I play mahjong every Monday, which is really lovely. I always ask 3 questions. First question is, where are you from?
I'm originally born and raised in Pittsburgh and moved to Toledo for 43 years, where we raised our family.
Bert?
And I'm originally from Erie, Pennsylvania.
And then you moved to Toledo.
Yeah, I think I did.
How long have you been a couple?
Oh, since 1976.
And how long have you been married?
45 and a half years.
Whoa. And how long have you been in Laguna Woods?
4.5 years? Full time.
Nice. You came part-time for a while?
We tried it out for 3 months.
Drank the Kool-Aid and decided we'd come back.
Okay. All right, let's get to it. How'd you meet, Penn State?
Well, we have a very differing of opinions of how we met. But I started my college experience at Slippery Rock State Teachers College and realized I really didn't like it. So I transferred to Penn State. As a transfer student, you can't go down to the main campus right away. You have to go to a branch campus.
Were you a sophomore at this point?
I was ending my sophomore year. So I did not want to go to the campus back by my hometown. I've already been away for 2 years, so I went to Erie. And Bert's sister was my RA.
Oh.
So where the difference is,
Well, his sister was my RA. I saw him picking her up to go home, I think for the holidays, through the window, and I thought, he's really good looking. I might like to get to meet him. But
back in those days, men were not allowed in the women dormitories after a certain hour. So there was this party going on. And where the difference is, she pulled me through a window so I could get on the floor. But she says, no, she didn't.
You pulled Bert through.
I did not.
Yes, she did.
I went to push open the door to let him in, and I was laughing so hard I fell into the door, and I actually chipped my tooth. So I say he came in through the door. He said he came in through the window.
Why were you coming into the dorm?
For the party.
For the party.
But if men weren't allowed.
Well, we broke the rules.
Sometimes you do things a little different.
Especially when his sister was the RA 2 doors down, right? Okay. My room was the party room.
Oh, so it was a party in your room.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Why am I surprised?
And then he had a girlfriend, another girlfriend, so that was the end. And I transferred down to the main campus after just 1 quarter.
Wait. So he had a girlfriend, and that was it?
Yeah, but she was like way out of town in Wilmington, Delaware during the summer.
So did you date at that point?
No.
Oh.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Because she left Penn State and went to Virginia when Bert went to graduate school. So they were in Virginia together.
Okay.
And then
I
got invited
Well,
to
wait a
wedding.
minute. You're wearing the Penn State sweatshirt. Were you
Right.
in Penn State at that point?
No, I had already graduated by then.
But not
I
from Penn
graduated in
State.
74.
Oh, from Penn State.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a little confused here. Okay.
That's okay, we're confused.
Okay. All right. So you're now not a student, and you have come into Debbie's room as a party. You chipped her tooth, and then didn't see each other.
Right, because I was working in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I'd already graduated, working in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Right. Then you went to graduate school in Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
And his girlfriend went with him.
Oh, and that's how you met. Okay. And then, okay. So then when did you get back together?
Well, his roommate was getting married.
And I thought the wedding was in Pittsburgh. And there was 2 girls I was going to be asking to this wedding. One lived in Philadelphia, one lived in Pittsburgh. I said, I'm not going to schlep all the way from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh for this wedding, so I'll just invite Debbie. Guess where the wedding was?
In Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia, absolutely right. So I still did the schlep.
But I was at Penn State. I was in the middle anyways.
Yeah,
I went
still
to
a
school
schlep.
that summer.
Okay.
And that was the summer of '76.
Okay. All right. And then did you start, so that was the first time you had gotten together after?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So then what happened after that?
Well, then he went back to Virginia. And one of my very dear friends at Penn State's boyfriend he graduated and was going to law school in Maryland. And he was from Maryland. So when she would go to Maryland, I would go with her, and Bert would drive up from Virginia and pick me up, and I'd spend the weekend
Oh, so you
in
became a
Virginia.
couple at that point?
Yeah, after the wedding.
After the wedding.
Right.
And then I can't tell you how many times he was taking me back to go back to my friends when we said, oh, welcome to Virginia. We could never get off that beltway in
Kept going
Washington,
round and
DC.
around. Yeah.
And then he came up and was going through he quit graduate school, came up and went through the Career Center and found a job in Toledo.
Okay.
And then when I graduated in '77, he was already living there, and I went to Toledo, jobless, with 2 blue suitcases and no wheels.
And and you moved in together?
Yes.
And then when did you get married?
You can say the ultimatum, or am I?
Oh, you can give it.
So she gave me an ultimatum after a very short period of time, and she said, either we're getting married or I'm going back home. Guess what I did?
What did you do?
I said, okay, let's get married.
And he proposed on New Year's Eve.
How nice.
Yeah, that was really kind of fun. Well, let's see, my birthday passed, Hanukkah passed. Okay, buddy, you got one more chance here.
What would you have done if he hadn't proposed?
I would have left.
Yeah.
I had, my job in Toledo, I was a special ed major, And because I wasn't licensed in Ohio, I had to go back to school, but I got a job doing home instruction because back in the day, students with multiple disabilities were not allowed to go to school.
Oh.
So I traveled from home to home to home.
Okay.
And then Ohio changed their licensing and certification laws, so everybody needed to get recertified.
Okay.
And then I got hired. Funny story, I was a home ec teacher. I know how to cook, and I can sew on a button, but that's about it. But we all had to get recertified. So the professors from the university came to us
Okay.
after school.
Okay.
She was a really good sewer. In fact, my mom was a seamstress. So when I got a hole in my sock, my mom would sew my sock, the hole up. So the first time we're married, I get a hole in my sock. I go, Debbie, would you darn my sock like my mom used to do? She looked at the sock, she said, oh darn, threw it in the garbage.
Well, you weren't taught that.
No, I was
Right,
not.
right.
I taught them like how to cook, make a bed,
Right.
Basic
The
things,
basic
life
stuff.
skills.
Right, right. How many years were you a home ec teacher?
Well, I did that for about 3, and then I went to a different school. It was a county-run program, and then in 1995, the state said no more county-run schools. So I went into the Toledo public system, and I did elementary school for 5 years and retired from a high school after 13 years there. So I taught for 32 years.
Bert, what did you do?
I did a multitude of things, all in the sales job. And the one job, if you promise you won't sue me,
You can't do that.
I'm going to say it. If you don't sue me, I'll tell you what I used to do.
Okay.
So I used to sell screws. So if you ever need a good screw, you look me up.
Did you have a card, a business card?
I do not.
So, okay, so you're married, you have, how soon did you have kids?
Almost
3
3
years.
years.
So you were a home ec teacher, and then you had
I
to take the
stayed home for a couple years with Jason, and then I needed some adult stimulation, so I started subbing. Then I got pregnant with Megan and stayed home again until Jason went to kindergarten, and we wanted to move. And we couldn't afford to move just on Bert's salary, so I had to go back to work, plus the benefits that I had were better.
Perfect.
So I went back to work, and then we were able to sell that house and move.
And all this time you were in Toledo, Ohio.
Yes.
Yes.
So the couple before us, I'm from New York State. I'm from New York. I lived in Manhattan, so I had a closeness, something with them. But my mother was from Toledo.
Really?
Did you know that? Yeah.
I did not know that.
And when I was a kid, but she moved to New York. I went back to Toledo once or twice as a baby, never again. But my grandmother, her name, we didn't know her first name. We used to call her Grandma from Toledo. We never knew her name. That was it. All my cousins, my sister, we always called her Grandma from Toledo. So I do have a kinship to Toledo. So.
That's pretty funny. I did not know that.
Yeah. So your grandkids could call you Grandma from Toledo.
Yeah, they could if they wanted to.
We used to kid our mothers. You're going to be Grandma from 6 Charlotte Drive. But we moved before she could become that grandma.
That's funny. Do you still have family in Toledo?
Probably,
Oh,
but
interesting.
I really don't know them. My mother moved away, and as a kid, I think she kept in touch with them, but I really didn't know them. I heard of them, but I don't know
It
who
was
they
actually a very nice community to raise a family in.
are. Oh, that's
So,
nice.
I mean, and our son went to Ohio State, another rival of ours, but and our daughter went to Bowling Green.
Actually, my aunt went to school with Jamie Farr.
Oh,
That was
in
the
Toledo.
family's claim to
well,
fame.
there's
Right.
Jamie Farr Park,
Right.
and there's also
Right.
who's that other guy from Toledo? Danny
Danny
Thomas.
Oh, Danny Thomas.
Yeah, he was
Right.
from Toledo also, and their parks are very close together.
Right, perfect. So, you know what? This has been like a real pleasure having you guys on. Is there anything else you want to tell me?
I don't think so. I don't know. It was fun. Thank you for having
you very
us.
much.
Well, thank you. It's been really fun. I'm really glad you could come. Thank you.
We are.
Penn State.
And I am Syracuse. If you'd like to come on to the show, email us at lwvcouples@gmail.com. Include your name, phone number, and email address, and brief description of your story.